This switch came out almost 2 years ago, but it's still the best Hall effect switch you can buy. This is the Geon Raw HE, and the reason it's still on top is because Geon designed the mold themselves, and I find zero wobble nor scratchiness. It's also the only switch out there that features this half-closed bottom housing that gives it this punchy, marbly sound profile you can't find anywhere else. In terms of sound, Hall effect switches have lagged behind their mechanical counterparts, but these Geons are the exception. Alex has said the same, quote, "Every time I put them in a board, I think, is this really Hall effect or is this MX? I get confused sometimes myself." Take a listen. These are the Gamer Fuels, HMX's first ever Hall effect switches, and HMX did the same thing here that they did in the mechanical world, cut the price in half and simultaneously make the switch better than the competition. The sound is the part that surprised me most with these. It's stocky, but with this distinctive hollowness. The factory loop is the other notable thing about the Gamer Fuels. HMX is famous for their excellent looping on their mechanical switches, and they carried it straight over to these as well. These are definitely the smoothest switches on this list, which matters quite a bit for very sensitive use cases like rapid trigger. Take a listen to how they sound. Most silent switches on the market feel mushy, but these revamped Dove HE switches don't. The reason is that normal silent switches use silicone dampeners, these soft pads here that cushion the impact when you bottom out, thereby eliminating audio feedback. The problem is that softness makes for an undesirable bottom out feel. Haimu took a completely different approach with these Doves. Instead of dampeners, they use cutouts in the stem. How it works is that when you bottom out, the stem flexes, diffusing the force and thereby silencing the switch, without impacting the bottom out feel as much as a silicone dampener would. These were the first fully silent Hall effect switches on the market. With these brand new V2s, I find two upgrades: better factory lube and a redesigned RGB diffuser that lets more light through. Here's the sound test. The sticky rices are the switch I recommend when someone asks, "What should I buy if I don't want to mod anything?" The reason is that the factory lube on the sticky rices is some of the best I've ever felt on a switch, mechanical or magnetic. The dustproof stem is the other standout thing about these switches. If you're someone who's particularly sensitive to stem wobble, make sure to pick a switch with this boxy stem design. Sound-wise, they are deep and thocky. Unlike the Raws we covered earlier, these have a completely closed bottom for an even deeper sound signature, and if you want to push that thock even further, they respond incredibly well to mods like extra foam. Here's the sound test. The lavenders are the switch that surprised me the most. When alexotos ran his blind Hall effect tournament, these came out on top, and after using them myself, I get why. The first thing you'll notice is how full they sound. Most Hall effect switches have this thinness or plasticiness to them, but the lavenders don't. The stock lube is done really well, and acoustically speaking, there's a clean, low character to them that you basically don't find anywhere else in the Hall effect space. Take a listen. The rice pudding is the only switch on this list with what I consider a creamy sound profile. These sit in the middle with a smooth, rounded, almost poppy tone. It's the closest thing that I found to a creamy mechanical switch sound in the Hall effect space. The feel matches the sound. The factory lube is just as great as the sticky rices, which makes sense because these are also made by Everglide. These also feature a dustproof stem design that minimizes stem wobble. Here's how they sound. The Raids are by far the most unique feeling switch on this list. You can just tell it's different when placed side by side against the switches that we feature today. Indeed, the Raids are the only tactiles on this list. But how do they achieve tactility here? Well, they use a small rubber dome over a magnet, similar to what you find in a Topra board. This is the most fun typing experience you can get on a Hall effect right now. There's the soft, pillowy feedback that you just don't get from a normal linear switch. One customer has asked whether or not these stay mounted in the keyboard since they look so untraditional, but I can confirm the Raids stay lodged in your board just fine. But my honest take is that these likely aren't the pick for competitive gaming. I'd go with anything else on this list for that. Most Hall effect switches are linear for a reason. It plays best with the precise actuations Hall effect keyboards are built for. But for daily use or casual gaming, these are really great. If you're a tactile fan who needs Hall effect features, the Raids are as good as it gets. Here's how they sound. Now, here are back-to-back sound tests for the switches we talked about today. But if you want to get Alex's take on his favorite top 5 Hall effect switches of the year, make sure to watch this video here. For now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.